Strength does not come to those who seek comfort. It belongs to those who can stand amidst chaos and remain unshaken. When the world falls apart, it is your unyielding nature that defines who you truly are. In a world where weakness often disguises itself as courage, to be unbowed is not merely a choice, it is the demand of fate. This video is based on the philosophy of Nietzsche and will be of interest to those who are not afraid to face their inner chaos, those who yearn to understand how to be truly free in this world. This path is not for everyone, but it will open your eyes to something great. Well then, let's begin. You are not a slave to your emotions. They are not your masters, nor your chains. They are raw energy, wild and untamed, like fire bursting from a forge. The weak allow this fire to consume them, to turn them into ashes of doubt and hesitation. But the strong seize the flames, temper their steel within them, and emerge as something indestructible. Gaze into your anger, and do not flinch. Let it not be a poison that corrodes your mind, but a hammer that shapes your will. The world is full of those who explode at the slightest provocation, their rage a fleeting spectacle, loud but meaningless. Do not be like them. Hold your fury in your fist, mold it into purpose, and strike with precision. Let your actions, not your outbursts, shape reality. Fear, it is the shadow cast by your own greatness. Run from it, and it will devour you. Stand before it, and it will bow. There is no courage without fear, no triumph without the abyss of hesitation. The strong do not wait for fear to subside. They walk straight into it, forcing it to kneel beneath their stride. Control, discipline, will. These are the weapons of those who do not break. The storm of emotion rages, but you are the mountain, unshaken, unmoved. You do not deny your emotions, you command them. You do not silence them, you make them serve you. For only those who master their own fire can set the world ablaze. Now ask yourself, will you be the anvil beaten by your emotions? Or the blacksmith, forging yourself into something the world cannot break? Walk alone, or be nothing. The crowd is a prison disguised as comfort. It welcomes you with open arms, offers you warmth, makes you feel safe, safe from thought, safe from struggle, safe from yourself. But in its embrace, you become less than you are. The mass does not love the individual, it fears him. It does not nurture greatness, it smothers it. And those who seek shelter within it slowly dissolve into nothing, their voices blending into the meaningless hum of 1,000 others. To stand alone is to carve yourself from stone. It is to reject the easy path, the soft lull of agreement, the narcotic of belonging. It is to walk into the storm while the rest hide beneath their illusions of security. The world has never been moved by those who followed. It has never been shaped by those who sought comfort. Every towering figure in history, every name that still echoes through time, belonged first to themselves and only then to the world. But solitude is a bitter teacher. It strips you bare, forces you to see yourself as you truly are, without the distractions of applause or approval. It demands that you become your own source of meaning, your own companion, your own judge. And it is here, in this crucible of isolation, that you are either forged into something unbreakable or shattered completely. Dare to stand apart. Dare to walk paths where no footsteps exist. The crowd may mock you, call you mad, call you arrogant, call you lost. But know this, they are not speaking from wisdom. They are speaking from fear. For nothing terrifies the mass more than the one who does not need it. Pain is your teacher, or it is your master. Pain comes for you whether you call it or not. It arrives uninvited, tearing through flesh, mind, and soul. It does not ask permission. It does not negotiate. It simply is. And in that moment, when the fire of suffering engulfs you, you will either be refined or consumed. The weak curse their suffering. They beg for its end, resent the world for its cruelty, and waste their breath on questions that the universe does not answer. They flee, but pain follows. They deny it, but it persists. It wraps its fingers around their throats, and because they refuse to learn from it, they become its slaves. But the strong take pain into their hands and reshape it. They do not run, they do not break. They look at suffering and whisper, "Teach me." Pain is not the enemy. It is the forge in which your true self is made. The sword that has never known the hammer of the blacksmith shatters at the first strike. The man who has never embraced suffering crumbles at the first hardship. But the one who has faced agony and learned from it, he walks through fire untouched. Let pain carve away your weakness. Let it strip you of illusions. Let it teach you that nothing can destroy you unless you allow it to. The world is merciless, and you must be greater than the world. Do not fear suffering. Fear only a life lived in avoidance of it. So when pain comes knocking, do not cower. Stand, open the door, and let it in. Then make it your weapon. No excuses, only strength. The world does not care why you failed. It does not stop to listen to your reasons, your justifications, your pleas for understanding. It measures you only by what you have done. And if you have done nothing, you are nothing. Excuses are the currency of the weak. They wrap themselves in them like a tattered cloak, hoping to hide from the cold truth of their own insignificance. They whisper to themselves, "I could have, I would have, I should have," and in those words they die a little more each day. But reality does not barter in could have, only in what is. You stand at the anvil of life, and your hands hold the hammer. Each blow you strike shapes your destiny. But if instead of striking, you hesitate, if you turn away from the heat and weight of effort, do not look to the world for pity. It will not come, and it should not. For pity is a poison. It infects, it weakens, it turns the spirit to rot. There is only one path worth walking, the path of action. Do what must be done, not because it is easy, not because it is fair, but because it is necessary. No one will come to save you. No one will carry you forward. If you wish for strength, take it. If you wish for greatness, seize it. And if you fail, rise. Again and again. You owe the world no explanations, only proof that you are here. Be hated for the truth, never loved for a lie. To seek the approval of all is to dissolve into nothing. The one who bends, who smooths his edges to fit the expectations of others, who silences his voice to avoid offense, he does not live, he merely exists. And in that existence, he dies a slow, invisible death. The world is not kind to those who stand firm. It does not reward honesty, nor does it celebrate strength. It fears them. It prefers the agreeable, the obedient, the malleable. And so when you refuse to kneel, when you refuse to shape yourself into what is comfortable for others, the world will turn against you. Let it. There is no virtue in being liked. There is no honor in being accepted at the cost of your own soul. The masses do not admire those who try to please them. They despise them. They trample over those who grovel. They demand submission, not respect. But those who walk their own path, who speak with conviction, who refuse to apologize for their existence, these are the ones remembered. If you are to be loved, let it be for the fire within you, not the mask you wear. And if love does not come, so be it. It is better to stand alone in truth than to drown in a sea of false approval. The path of authenticity is not easy, but it is the only one worth walking. So let them hate you. Let them whisper. Let them scorn. It changes nothing. You are not born to be adored. You are born to be real. Let go, or be broken by the past. The past is a corpse, and yet you carry it on your back. You drag it with you, day after day, clinging to its weight as if it still has something to offer. But the dead do not speak, and the past does not change. It does not care for your regret, nor does it bow to your sorrow. It simply is, unmoving, unyielding, indifferent. And if you refuse to release it, it will consume you. Many have fallen in love with their wounds. They run their fingers over old scars, whispering stories of what could have been, what should have been. They bleed over and over again, not because life still strikes them, but because they refuse to stop striking themselves. This is the greatest tragedy, not the wound itself, but the refusal to let it heal. What has happened is immovable. No amount of thought, no flood of emotion will undo what is done. The pain you suffered, the betrayal you endured, the failures that still echo in your mind, they are written in stone. But you are not stone. You are movement, you are becoming, you are still in motion. And to carry the past with you is to shackle yourself to a ghost while life continues forward. Look back once, only once. Learn, understand, accept. Then turn away. The past is a lesson, not a prison. Those who stare too long into its depths forget that they still have a future. And worse, they begin to believe that their past is their future, that they are doomed to repeat what has already been. But nothing is further from the truth. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose now. Let go, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. The past is over. You, however, are not. Forge your body, strengthen your will. A great mind trapped in a feeble body is a prisoner of its own potential. It dreams of conquest, but lacks the strength to march. It sees the mountain, but trembles at the first step. It reaches for greatness, but is betrayed by the flesh that carries it. The weak body is a cage, and no brilliance can shine from within rusted bars. If you wish to command your destiny, first command yourself, your muscles, your breath, your endurance. Comfort is the death of power. The body that has never known hardship grows soft, and the mind that has never battled resistance crumbles under pressure. Strength is not given, it is forged. In sweat, in struggle, in pain. The warrior is not born on the battlefield, but in the silent, grueling hours of training, in the agony of one more push, one more step, one more moment of enduring what lesser men surrender to. Cold, hunger, exhaustion, these are not your enemies. They are your teachers. They strip away weakness. They burn away hesitation. They force you to conquer yourself. The body that learns discipline will not bow. The mind that has faced suffering and endured will not break. When you choose hardship, you choose power. And what of those who avoid it? What of those who seek only pleasure, who sink into indulgence, who refuse to test their limits? They may laugh, they may mock, they may say, "Why suffer when life can be easy?" But when the storm comes, and it always comes, they will shatter while you will stand. They will beg for mercy, while you will take what is yours. They will watch in awe as you ascend the heights they dared not even approach. Train your body, not for vanity, not for display, but because it is your weapon. The weak spirit cannot dwell in a strong body, just as the weak mind cannot command a warrior's frame. One feeds the other. One lifts the other higher. Strength is not separate, it is whole. And when you are strong in all things, the world no longer decides for you. You decide for the world. Overcome or be erased. The universe does not wait. It does not care for your excuses, your fears, your hesitation. It is a relentless force, a storm that moves forward, unyielding, uncaring. It devours the weak and rewards the strong. You will either rise to meet its challenge or be swept away by the tide of time, forgotten, insignificant. There is no middle ground. Evolution is not a passive process. It is a brutal battle, one in which only the adaptable, the resilient, the relentless survive. Those who stagnate, who shrink from adversity, who look at the world and tremble, are erased. History is not made by those who hesitate. It is made by those who face the storm head-on, who adapt, who evolve with every strike, with every hardship. The world will not pity you. It will not wait for you to catch up. Either you conquer the challenges before you, or they will bury you beneath their weight. What is strength, if not the ability to adapt? What is growth, if not the ability to face what is greater than yourself and evolve into something more? Those who fear struggle will be devoured by it. Those who embrace it will rise above it. But the universe is not kind. It gives no mercy, no warning. It simply moves. The question is not whether the storm will come, but whether you will have the strength to weather it. You are being shaped, whether you acknowledge it or not. Every challenge, every failure, every obstacle is a forge, and you are the steel. But steel does not bend to its circumstances. It sharpens, it strengthens, it becomes something the world cannot break. If you resist, you will be worn down. If you evolve, you will carve your name into the fabric of time. And the choice is yours. Will you evolve, or will you fade into oblivion? Will you embrace the struggle, or will you become one of its casualties? The universe does not wait for the weak. It is merciless, and it will either push you forward or erase you completely. The world is not fair, and that's wonderful. The world does not owe you fairness. It does not follow rules, nor does it bow to your sense of justice. It is not a carefully measured equation, nor a balanced scale that weighs right and wrong. It is wild, chaotic, unpredictable. And this is the very reason you must love it. Do not lament the absence of fairness. Do not waste your energy in outrage, in crying for what should have been, or what you think you deserve. The world is not a place of equal chances, nor is it a playground for your idealism. It is a battlefield, a canvas of infinite possibility, where only the bold dare to create. The absence of order is not a curse, it is freedom. You are not bound by the rules others follow. You are not shackled by the expectations that the masses place on you. The chaos is your ally, the void your canvas. For in the absence of the world's fairness, you are granted the most beautiful thing of all, the ability to shape it. The world's injustice is not a condemnation, but an invitation. It calls you to become the artist of your own life, to create your own meaning, your own purpose. What the world offers is chaos. What you make of it is entirely up to you. And so, it is up to you to take this chaotic canvas and make it yours. Will you let the lack of fairness defeat you, or will you seize it, mold it, bend it to your will? The world will not make room for you. But in this, it gives you everything you need, a blank slate. It is not the rules of the world that define greatness, but the will to break them. The truly powerful are not those who follow, but those who create their own path, those who rise above the disorder and use it to forge their destiny. You are not a victim of chaos, you are its master. Embrace the lack of fairness. It is your freedom. Words are cheap, actions are priceless. In a world overflowing with empty promises, words have lost their value. They are a dime a dozen, quickly spoken and just as quickly forgotten. Everyone can speak, can promise, can shout their intentions into the void. But what truly matters is not what you say. What matters is what you do. The world does not care about your grand speeches. It does not care for your well-crafted plans or your declarations of intent. The world cares only for results. It cares for actions that speak louder than any promise. Your strength, your character, your truth. These are not found in the things you say, but in the things you do. To change is not to talk about change. To rise is not to declare your greatness. To conquer is not to boast of your strength. The truly powerful do not waste time speaking of their power. They show it, they live it, they make it undeniable through action. Words are for the weak, the insecure, the ones who need validation. But you must prove who you are. You must prove your worth. You must show the world your strength, your conviction, your relentless pursuit of greatness, not in speeches, but in every move you make. It is easy to talk about being great, to talk about wanting to change, to talk about becoming the best version of yourself. It is far more difficult to actually walk that path, to act, to commit, to endure without waiting for praise or acknowledgement. The world will not reward your promises. It will only reward your actions. Your deeds are the true reflection of your soul. They speak the truth of who you are, while words remain as nothing more than illusions. You must be the embodiment of your ideals. Your every step must be proof of your strength. The moment you stop talking and start doing, the world begins to listen. The moment you stop waiting for others to recognize you and begin creating your own recognition through action, the world has no choice but to see you. In the end, it is not your words that will echo through time. It is your actions. Let them speak for you. Let them be your voice, your legacy, your truth. Break your old chains. The chains that bind you are invisible, but no less real. They are woven from a fabric of your own complacency, your own comfort, your own fear of the unknown. These chains were forged in the quiet moments of surrender, in the whispered thoughts that said, "This is enough." But there is nothing more dangerous than enough. Comfort is the greatest prison of all, and it is a trap most will never see until it is too late. It whispers softly, lulling you into inaction. It promises peace, but delivers nothing more than stagnation. The moment you surrender to comfort, you surrender to mediocrity. You are no longer living, you are merely existing, drifting on the current of a world that demands nothing from you. To truly live, you must shatter the chains that bind you. You must burn the bridges that keep you tethered to the past, to the safety of what you know. The familiar is a cage, and the more you cling to it, the more you are confined. It is time to set fire to the very things that hold you back. Let the flames scorch the path you've walked, and walk away from it. For the path behind you leads only to a prison you've built for yourself. Freedom is not found in comfort, it is found in the unknown. It is found in the leap, in the risk, in the willingness to burn everything down and start again. Freedom is the will to leave the old behind, to break free from the shackles of familiarity, to cast aside everything that ties you to the past. It is the ability to rise above the fear of discomfort, to embrace the chaos of change, and to walk forward into the future unburdened by the weight of what has been. But there is a cost to this. Freedom is never free. It requires sacrifice, the burning of bridges, the breaking of chains, the willingness to leave behind what once gave you comfort. It is the moment you realize that to hold on to the old is to suffocate the new. The moment you stop being a prisoner to your own past, to your own desires for safety, is the moment you begin to truly live. The chains will never loosen on their own. You must tear them apart. You must burn the bridge. And only then, when the old is gone, when the safety net is burned away, will you see the horizon unfold before you. Only then will you know what it is to live without limits, without fear, and without regret. Keep your ultimate goal in mind. Every moment of your life is a choice. Every action, every thought, every decision, each of them is either leading you toward your purpose or away from it. If you do not have a clear vision of where you are going, you are lost. And in the wilderness of your uncertainty, you will become a pawn, subject to the whims of the world, swept away by forces that will use you as they see fit. To move forward in life without a destination is to wander aimlessly, to drift with the current, with no awareness of the rocks and the storms that lie ahead. Without a goal, you are nothing more than a leaf caught in the wind, subject to the chaos of life, pulled in whichever direction is most convenient. But the one who has a goal, the one who sees the distant horizon with unwavering clarity, is not a pawn. They are a master of their fate, a commander of their path. The goal is not just a distant dream, it is a beacon, a fire that burns through the fog of confusion and doubt. It is the single point of focus that drives every step you take. Every move, every sacrifice, every hardship, every triumph, all must serve this singular purpose. Without it, you are nothing more than a wanderer in a land without meaning. When you keep your eye on the goal, nothing can sway you. You move through the noise, through the distractions, through the temptation to settle for less, because you know what lies ahead. The world will try to pull you off course, to offer you comforts, to beg you to rest. But if you know where you are going, if you know the ultimate end to which you are driving, you will not stop. You will not be diverted. You will use the world, rather than be used by it. The greatest tragedy is not failure. The greatest tragedy is aimlessness. To wake up every day without a clear purpose is to live in a cage made of indecision, a cage of your own making. The path is clear only to those who refuse to be distracted. It is a clarity of mind that allows you to see the horizon while others are lost in the fog. It is discipline that keeps you moving forward, step by deliberate step, toward your goal. And it is strength that forces the world to bow to your will. You are not a pawn, and the world will not move you if you do not allow it. Stay focused. Hold your goal firmly in your mind. Everything else is noise. Let the world pass you by. It will only be a blur on your way to greatness. Be uncomfortable for others, if it makes you stronger. The world does not respect the meek. It does not honor those who bow their heads in submission to comfort or convention. No, the world only respects those who are willing to stand tall, unbending, and unapologetic in the face of adversity. The world respects the ones who disrupt the status quo, who disturb the peace not out of malice, but because they know their own strength demands it. You must understand this. Comfort is the enemy of growth. The moment you bend to the will of others, the moment you suppress your own voice to appease the fragile egos around you, you surrender your power. But the ones who refuse to kneel, the ones who force others to confront their own discomfort, are the ones who define the course of history. It is only in discomfort that you will find the true measure of your strength. Do not seek validation. Do not strive to make yourself liked, or loved, or accepted. Those are the tools of the weak, the ones who are afraid of their own potential. The strong do not care for such superficial concerns. They are too busy forging themselves, refining their power, testing their limits. They are too busy shaping a world in their own image. If being uncomfortable makes you stronger, then embrace it. Let the world recoil at your presence. Let the critics question your motives. Let them scorn you, belittle you, and misunderstand you. For it is through their rejection that you will rise. It is through the discomfort of opposition that you will grow into something unbreakable. Every challenge, every moment of discomfort, is but another hammer striking at the raw material of your soul, refining it, purifying it, and molding it into something formidable. Do not shrink from discomfort. Do not back down when the world tells you to conform, to bend, to follow the herd. You must be willing to stand apart, to be the source of discomfort for others, if it is what it takes to forge the strength within you. You must become the stone in the shoe of the world, a constant reminder that there are those who will not kneel, who will not bow, and who will not be swayed by the winds of opinion. The world will try to silence you. It will try to make you fit into its mold, to smooth away your edges, to tame you. But you must resist. You must remain uncomfortable in the face of comfort. You must remain a force of nature, untamed, unapologetic, and unyielding. Only then will the world come to respect you, not because you begged for it, but because you earned it through your unrelenting pursuit of power, purpose, and truth. You are the blacksmith of your destiny. There is no savior who will come to lift you from your struggles, no force outside of yourself that will bring you salvation. The myth of the rescuer is the myth of weakness. It is the story told to pacify those too afraid to confront the truth. You are alone in this world. Your fate is not in the hands of the gods, not in the whims of fortune, nor in the mercy of any other. It is in your hands, and yours alone. Understand this. The world owes you nothing. You are not born to be saved, to be rescued from suffering or hardship. Salvation is not something that falls from the heavens like a gift, nor does it come from the kindness of others. Salvation is forged. It is built through your own will, through your own discipline, through the sweat of your brow and the fire of your heart. You are the blacksmith of your own fate, and the hammer and anvil are in your hands. Every moment of your life is a choice, and every action you take is a blow struck at the metal of your destiny. You shape yourself. You forge your path. No one else will come to do this for you, and to wait for such a thing is to surrender yourself to the whims of fate, to allow yourself to become a pawn in a game you have no control over. You must choose to rise. You must choose to strike the blows that will shape your future. Every hardship you face, every trial you endure, is but another layer of the steel being hardened in the forge. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are the architect of it. And only by embracing this role, by accepting the full weight of your responsibility, can you truly begin to create the life you desire. There is no one coming to save you from your own mediocrity. There is no one to pull you from the depths of your despair. Only you can pull yourself from the ashes. Only you can rise from the ruins of your mistakes, your failures, your doubts. You must forge yourself anew every day, shaping your destiny with each decision, each action, each step you take. The world will not wait for you to make up your mind. It does not owe you understanding or sympathy. It demands strength. It demands power. And it is in this strength, in this relentless drive to carve your own path, that you will find your salvation. The world may break you, but it cannot defeat you unless you allow it. Your fate is not written in the stars. It is written by your own hands, forged in the fires of your own will. So take up your hammer. The forge is yours to command. The world will only respect you when you become the master of your own fate. And that mastery begins now. You are not a victim of circumstances, nor a mere spectator in your own life. You are the architect, the warrior, the blacksmith of your destiny. Every choice, every action, every moment is yours to command. Embrace discomfort, seek strength, and carve your path with unyielding resolve. Now, go forth and shape your fate.